Poor mother takes her daughter to the candy store just to look. But a young billionaire sees everything and does something unexpected. Anna adjusted her thin jacket as she walked through the bustling downtown streets. The cold March wind cut through the air, making Lucy squeeze her hand tighter with every gust that passed them. "Where are we going, Mommy?" "We're just going for a walk, sweetie, to see pretty things." It was a lie, of course. They didn't have money for a real outing. Anna had left the house because the walls of their small apartment seemed to be closing in on them that afternoon. 3 days without work, 2 days eating only what was left in the nearly empty pantry. Lucy didn't know any of this, and Anna made sure to keep it that way. The city centre was bustling on that Saturday afternoon. Entire families walked by carrying colourful shopping bags. Young couples went in and out of cosy cafes. Children ran between their parents' legs, laughing. It was like watching a world parallel to her own, a world where people had enough money to spend on things that weren't basic necessities. Anna watched everything with a mix of nostalgia and resignation. She had been part of that world once, a long time ago, when she still lived with her parents and her biggest problem was deciding what outfit to wear to go out with her friends. "Mommy, look!" Lucy pointed to a colourful storefront ahead of them. "What a beautiful shop!" The Sweet Dreams Bakery occupied the busiest corner of Fifth Avenue. It was impossible not to notice its huge windows displaying a true gallery of artisanal sweets. Cupcakes with frosting that looked like shiny silk, cookies decorated like little works of art, pies so elaborate they looked more like edible sculptures. Anna hesitated for a moment. She knew exactly what would happen. Lucy would want to go inside. She would ask for something. And Anna would have to break her daughter's heart once again with the cruel reality of their financial limitations. But the little girl's blue eyes were already shining with that typical childhood wonder. Can we get a closer look? How could she say no to that look? They walked slowly to the main display window. The shop radiated warmth and coziness, with golden lights that made every sweet look even more appetizing. Lucy pressed her 2 small hands against the clean glass, leaving prints that would soon turn into fog. Her blonde curls bounced as she moved her head from side to side, trying to take it all in at once. "Oh my gosh, Mommy, there's a donut that looks like a rainbow." Anna forced a smile she hoped looked genuine. "It really is, sweetie. So beautiful." Inside, her mind was automatically calculating. The simplest donut in the window cost $12. She only had 8 crumpled dollars in her wallet, and that money needed to last until Monday, when maybe, just maybe, she would get an answer about the job at the diner on the back street. "Mommy?" Lucy turned around, her blue eyes full of a hope that was heartbreaking. "Aren't we going to eat?" The question landed like a direct blow to her chest. Anna knelt to her daughter's level, trying to find a gentle way to shatter another small dream. "Just looking, my love. Mommy doesn't have any money." The words came out harsher than she intended. Lucy didn't cry. She never cried when Anna said that. At 5 years old, she already understood the limitations of their life better than any child should have to. "It's okay, Mommy. It's pretty just to look at, too." Anna's heart broke a little more. Lucy's premature maturity was both her pride and her greatest source of guilt. Across the street, Jack Spencer stepped out of the imposing bank building where he had just signed another multi-million-dollar contract. He checked his expensive watch. 3:15 in the afternoon. Perfect time for his weekly ritual. Every week on the same day and at the exact same time, he would walk to Sweet Dreams. It wasn't for the sweets, although he liked them. His mansion had a full gourmet kitchen and a private French chef who could prepare anything he wanted, including elaborate pastries that rivaled those at the bakery. He came for the memories. His mother used to bring him here when he was just 5 years old, always on Saturdays after lunch. She invariably chose the same treat, a chocolate donut covered in rainbow sprinkles. "To make the day brighter," she would always say, ruffling his blonde hair with genuine affection. After she died, when Jack was only 7, he could never eat donuts again. The taste brought back the pain of loss too intensely, but he liked to stand there, watching other families do the exact same thing they used to do together. It was a strange but effective way to feel close to her. Today, however, something was completely different. A young woman was crouched in front of the window, talking quietly to a little girl. Both had blonde hair that shone in the afternoon light. Both had that unmistakable air of people who were just looking, definitely not buying. The woman looked to be about his age, maybe a few years younger. She wore simple but impeccably clean clothes, and there was something in her posture that radiated dignity, even in what was clearly a difficult financial situation. The little girl, in turn, had the exact same golden curls as her mother, and a little face that radiated pure curiosity. She gestured excitedly as she pointed to the different sweets, as if describing precious treasures to an explorer. Jack crossed the street without much thought. He usually avoided any interaction with strangers, preferring to keep his private life separate from casual encounters. But something about the scene touched him in a way he couldn't rationally explain. When he got close enough, he could hear the end of the conversation between the mother and daughter. "Just looking, my love. Mommy doesn't have any money." The brutal and painful honesty of the phrase hit him like a lightning bolt. He immediately remembered his own childhood, when money was never even an issue, but genuine affection was always a scarce commodity in the cold house where he grew up. Here was the exact opposite: plenty of real love, but clearly limited financial resources. "Excuse me for interrupting." His voice came out softer and gentler than usual. "I couldn't help but overhear. Did you know that sweets really do brighten up your life?" Anna stood up quickly, an instinctive maternal move to protect Lucy. Jack immediately noticed the defensive reaction and deliberately kept a respectful distance. "Today, you are my guests. You can choose exactly what you want. We don't need charity," Anna replied, but without any aggression in her voice, just a dignified firmness. "I know perfectly well you don't." Jack smiled, and for the first time in many years, the smile was completely genuine. "But I would really like to do this. It's just, my mother used to bring me here when I was little. It's been a long time since I've seen a child so completely enchanted by this window." Lucy looked up at the tall man with evident curiosity. He had blonde hair, slightly messed up by the afternoon wind, and blue eyes that seemed genuinely kind. He wore an obviously expensive coat, but he didn't seem to have that typical arrogance of the rich she occasionally saw on television. "Mommy, can I accept?" Anna studied the stranger for a few more seconds. Her maternal instinct was on high alert, but he really didn't seem to have any ill intentions. And Lucy? When was the last time Lucy had gotten something just because, without it being her birthday or Christmas? "If you're absolutely sure." "I'm completely sure." Lucy practically ran back to the window and pointed without the slightest hesitation. "That one, the one that looks like a real rainbow." It was a donut, covered in creamy white frosting and vibrant rainbow sprinkles, exactly identical to the one his mother used to buy for him all those years ago. Jack entered the cozy bakery. The intense smell of vanilla, cinnamon, and chocolate brought a wave of nostalgia so powerful that he had to lean discreetly on the marble counter for a moment. "3 donuts like that one in the window, please," he asked the smiling attendant. "The ones with rainbow sprinkles." "Excellent choice. They're an absolute favorite with the kids." When he returned to the street, Lucy was waiting, practically bouncing with restrained excitement. Anna remained visibly tense, but clearly grateful for the unexpected kindness. "How about we eat right here?" Jack pointed to a small wooden bench in the landscaped plaza across from the bakery. "The day is beautiful, despite the cold wind." Anna hesitated for just a second, but Lucy was already running towards the bench. "Let's go, Mommy." The 3 of them sat on the green-painted wooden bench. Jack carefully handed out the donuts, always maintaining a completely respectful posture, without invading their personal space. "It's my favorite too," he said as Lucy bit into the donut and her eyes lit up like stars. "Really? Is it really, truly, your favorite?" "Absolutely. My mom always said the rainbow sprinkles automatically made any day happier." Anna watched the interaction carefully. There was something distinctly melancholy in his voice when he mentioned his mother. An old, well-guarded sadness, but still present. Lucy swung her legs as she ate, letting small, colourful crumbs fall to the ground for any eventual birds. Jack smiled genuinely, watching her so completely happy with something so seemingly simple. "What's your name?" Lucy asked, her mouth still slightly full of donut. "Jack." "And you. I'm Lucy, and this is my mommy, Anna. It's a great pleasure to meet you both, Lucy and Anna." They ate in a comfortable silence for a few minutes. It wasn't an awkward or forced silence, but rather that special kind of pause that arises naturally when people feel genuinely at ease with one another, even as complete strangers. Jack watched Anna discreetly. There was an undeniable strength in her, a quiet determination he deeply admired. Her hands were slightly rough, a clear sign of hard physical labor, but she carried a natural dignity that many of the extremely wealthy people he knew simply didn't possess. "Do you live here downtown?" Jack asked casually. "Not too far from here," Anna replied, deliberately vague. She didn't usually give out detailed personal information to strangers, even seemingly kind ones. "It's a really nice area to live. I love coming here for donuts," Jack continued, visibly relaxing. "It's kind of my personal escape to completely switch off from work." "What kind of work do you do?" Lucy asked with the absolute curiosity typical of children. "So I'm an engineer. I build big buildings, bridges, huge things." "Wow, it must be so cool to build giant things." Jack smiled. "It's interesting, but sometimes it gets pretty heavy and stressful. That's why I like coming here so much. It reminds me of when I was a kid and things were much simpler." Anna clearly noticed the melancholy that passed through his blue eyes. There was definitely more of a complex story there than he was letting on. "And you two, what do you like to do together?" Jack asked with genuine interest. "We really like to walk and look at pretty windows," Lucy answered cheerfully. "And sometimes we go to the park when it's sunny and not too cold." "Parks are really great. That must be a lot of fun." "It is. There are ducks there, and I really like watching them swim in the pond." Jack's expensive phone vibrated softly. He glanced quickly at the screen and frowned slightly. "I'm so sorry, but I have to go. I have an unavoidable appointment." Lucy made an obvious face of disappointment. "Already? But we were having so much fun." "I was having a great time too. It's been a long time since I've had such a genuinely pleasant afternoon." Jack stood up slowly, adjusting his expensive coat. "Thank you so much," Anna said, standing up as well, "for the kindness, the donuts, for everything, really." "Thank you so much, Jack." Lucy stood up quickly and waved with genuine enthusiasm. Jack waved back, a completely sincere smile lighting up his face. "Thank you too. You really made my day much, much better." He walked away with deliberately slow steps, as if he genuinely didn't want to leave, until he finally disappeared completely into the bustling downtown crowd. Mother and daughter stood still for a long moment, carefully processing what had just happened. "He was really nice, wasn't he, Mommy?" "Yes, he was." "Do you think we'll ever see him again?" Anna looked thoughtfully in the direction Jack had disappeared. There was something about him, a sadness carefully disguised as kindness, a deep loneliness masked by apparent success. "Gee, I don't know, sweetie. It's a big world. He seems like a cartoon character, and but a real one." Anna smiled at the unique comment. Her daughter always had a completely original way of describing situations. They began to walk slowly back home. The sweet taste still lingered pleasantly in their mouths, and Anna found herself thinking insistently about the kind stranger who had turned a completely ordinary day into something definitely special. There was something in the specific way he looked at Lucy, as if he saw in her something precious that he had lost a long time ago. And there was something in the particular way he looked at her too, not with condescending pity, but with genuine recognition, as if he truly understood what it meant to carry enormous responsibilities completely alone. The wind remained sharp and cold, But somehow, mysteriously, the rest of the way home felt significantly warmer. Anna took a deep breath before pushing open the glass door of the clothing store. It was her 6th attempt that morning, and nervousness had already given way to a desperate determination. 2 months. 2 months since the diner where she worked had suddenly closed its doors. 2 months of watching her savings disappear, and 3 weeks since she had to pull Lucy out of school. "I can't afford it anymore, sweetie," she had explained, swallowing her tears. "But it's just for a little while." Lucy had just nodded, always so mature for a 5-year-old. "Good morning. I saw you're hiring," Anna said to the saleswoman. The woman sized her up quickly. "Do you have experience?" "5 years as a waitress. I've always had a good relationship with customers." "Resume?" Anna felt her stomach tighten. "I don't have an official one, but I can explain. I can't evaluate you without a resume." "Sorry." The conversation died there. Anna left with her cheeks burning. It wasn't anger. It was humiliation mixed with desperation. Lucy was at home right now, probably flipping through the few books they had, pretending she didn't miss her friends from school. The coffee shop on the corner had a sign, "Help Wanted." Anna went in, trying to look confident. "Looking for a job? Great, we're in need," the manager said. For a second, Anna felt a glimmer of hope. "I have customer service experience. Perfect. Where's your resume?" The hope died instantly. "I don't have a formal document." "What do you mean? Everyone has a resume." Anna tried to explain, but the man was already shaking his head. "No documents, no deal." "Sorry." The pharmacy, the shoe store, the small market, always the same story. Anna began to feel invisible, as if she wore a sign that screamed "rejected" to every employer. At the electronics store, the salesman was blunt. "No resume? How old are you? 15? Anna left trembling with anger and shame. With every closed door, she thought of Lucy. The girl who should be in school learning math, which she loved. Instead, she was cooped up at home because her mother couldn't even get a basic job. The bakery was the last attempt. The owner was at least kind. "Look, dear, I believe you're capable, but right now I need someone with everything in order on paper, you understand?" Anna understood. She understood that living outside the formal system had consequences. She understood that Lucy was paying for her choices. She left the bakery late in the afternoon, exhausted and defeated. With each rejection, she felt like she was failing as a mother. Lucy needed to go back to school. She needed stability, and Anna couldn't provide even the basics. That's when she bumped into someone on 5th Avenue. "Sorry, Anna." She looked up. Jack was there, with the same kind smile from a week ago. "Jack." Her voice came out tired. "What a coincidence. How are you? And Lucy?" "She's fine." Jack noticed something different. The dignity was still there, but there was a deep exhaustion. "You look tired." "Is everything okay?" Anna thought about lying, but something in his genuine concern made the truth slip out. "A rough day looking for work." "How about we talk? I know a cafe nearby." Anna hesitated. She had no money, and Lucy was home alone. "My treat," Jack said softly, "and we can be quick if you're worried about Lucy." The cafe was small and cozy. Jack chose a secluded table. "What happened today?" Anna stirred her cup. 7 places, every door closed on the same word, "resume." "You don't have one." "I never needed one. I always worked in places where they knew my work." She sighed. "Without an official paper, it's like I don't exist." Jack remained silent, knowing well how the corporate world worked. "How long have you been unemployed?" 2 months. Her voice broke. "Lucy had to leave school." Jack felt as if he'd been punched. "Anna, I can't pay for it. She loved to study, especially math." Anna swallowed her tears. "She's a brilliant child, and I can't even give her an education. It's temporary. That's what I tell her and myself." But with each passing day, Anna shook her head. Today a guy treated me like I was a teenager for not having a resume. Some people are cruel when they feel superior. Anna looked at him. You say that like you know. I do. I grew up where appearances mattered more than substance, where your worth was measured by what you owned. And now I know it's empty. Jack faced her. I had everything, except real friendship. In you two, I saw something I can't find anywhere else. Truth. The sincerity caught Anna off guard. She studied his face and looking for falsehood, but found only honesty. Why are you telling me this? Because you were real with me from the first moment. Lucy looked at me as a person, not a bank account. You maintained your dignity even when you needed help. Anna felt something stir in her chest. It had been a long time since someone had seen her as a person. You don't know me. I know you're a good mother. I know you have pride without arrogance. I know you fight without playing the victim. Jack paused. That's more than I know about people I've known for years. They sat in a comfortable silence. Lucy talked about you, Anna said. What did she say? That you seemed lonely. Jack smiled sadly. Very perceptive for a 5-year-old. That's what happens when you learn to observe early on, when you don't have distractions like school. The pain in her voice was evident. And what do you read in me? Anna studied him. Someone who has everything money can buy, but nothing that truly matters. Jack was struck by the accuracy. Brutal, but true. Sorry for being blunt. Don't be. It's exactly that truth I can't find in my circle. Anna checked the time. I need to get back. Lucy's alone. Of course, Jack called the waiter. Can I ask you something? You can. Would you accept help making a resume? Anna tensed up. I don't need. It's not charity. It's navigating an unfair system. You have the experience, but you just need to format it correctly. Anna thought of the closed doors, of Lucy without school. Why would you do that? Because you offered me something rare. I want to return the favor. What did we offer? A genuine connection, a real conversation, the feeling that not everything is superficial. Anna stood up, grabbing her bag. I'll think about it. That's all I can ask. Walking home, Anna reflected on Jack's words. There was a loneliness in him that mirrored her own. Maybe accepting help wasn't weakness, but love for Lucy, love that deserved a chance to go back to school. Anna turned the envelope over in her hands 3 times before she had the courage to open it. She already knew what it was. She recognized the real estate agency's letterhead, but still, a part of her hoped it was something else. Anything else. Lucy was sitting on the living room floor, drawing with the colored pencils Jack had given her along with the donut. She didn't look up when Anna tore the envelope, but her little shoulders tensed. At 5 years old, she already knew how to recognize the sound of fear. Eviction notice, the paper read in bold letters. Deadline to vacate, 48 hours. Anna read it twice, as if the words might change on the second reading. 48 hours. 2 days to leave the only home Lucy had ever known. Mommy. The girl's voice was small. Is it something bad? Anna quickly folded the paper and forced a smile. No, sweetie, just boring adult paperwork. But when Lucy went back to her drawing, Anna let the smile fade. She looked around the small apartment, the peeling walls, the sofa with springs poking out, the fridge that made too much noise. It wasn't much, but it was theirs. It was where Lucy had taken her first steps, where they had watched cartoons together on Sunday mornings, where Anna tucked her into bed every night with made-up stories, and now they had 2 days. Anna went to the bedroom and closed the door. She sat on the bed and finally let the tears fall. She cried softly, careful not to let Lucy hear. She cried for the humiliation, for the fear, for the feeling of failing as a mother. After a few minutes, she dried her face and tried to think rationally. She needed options. She called her sister in another state. The call went straight to voicemail. She tried 2 old co-workers. One didn't answer. The other was polite but firm. I "Anna, I barely have room for myself." Anna understood. She understood that two desperate people were too heavy a burden for anyone to carry. She spent the rest of the afternoon calling numbers she found in classifieds, boarding houses, rooms for rent, anything. But with no proof of income, no references, and a small child, every door closed. When night fell, Anna still didn't have a single viable option. Lucy was in the bath when Anna picked up her phone. She stared at the screen for a long time, her thumb hovering over the keys. There was only one number she could call, only one person who had offered to help. But asking for help with a resume was one thing. This was different. This was admitting she had completely lost control. She typed slowly, "I'm sorry. I don't know where to go." She sent it before she could change her mind. The reply came in less than 2 minutes. "Address? I'm on my way to pick you up." Anna stared at the message, feeling a mix of relief and shame. She sent the address. Lucy came out of the bathroom in her pajamas, her wet hair forming golden curls around her face. "Mommy, are you okay? Your eyes are red." "I'm fine, sweetie. Listen, we're going on an adventure." "What kind of adventure?" "We're going to visit Jack. Remember him, the donut man." Lucy's eyes lit up. "Really? Now? Now? He's coming to get us." "Why at night?" Anna chose her words carefully. "Because sometimes the best adventures happen when you least expect them." Lucy seemed to accept the explanation. "Can I bring my colored pencils?" "You can bring everything that's important to you." While Lucy chose her treasures, a few books, the pencils, a faded teddy bear, Anna packed 2 bags with basic clothes. They didn't know how long they would be gone. They didn't know if they would be back. The doorbell rang exactly 40 minutes after the message. Jack was standing at the door, wearing a dark jacket and sneakers. He didn't ask about the bags, didn't ask for explanations. He just said, "Hi, Lucy. Hi, Anna. Are you ready?" "Jack!" Lucy ran to hug his leg. "Mummy said we're going on an adventure." "The best adventure," Jack confirmed, returning the hug. "My car is downstairs." The car was different from what Anna expected. Not a flashy sports car, but a dark, comfortable sedan. Jack put the bags in the trunk without comment, helped Lucy get settled in the back seat. During the ride, Lucy chattered about her drawings. Jack joined the conversation, asking about the colors she used, about the characters she created. Anna stayed silent, looking out the window and trying to process what was happening. Jack's house was in a neighborhood Anna had only seen in movies, large houses with manicured lawns, wide tree-lined streets, a general sense of security and prosperity. "So we're here," Jack said, stopping in front of a 2-story house with a welcoming porch. The house was beautiful, but not ostentatious. It had a simple front garden and a low, white-painted wooden fence. It looked like the kind of place where happy families lived in television commercials. "It's so pretty," Lucy said, amazed. "Thank you." "Shall we go in?" The interior was spacious but cozy. Quality furniture without being over the top, neutral colors, a general sense of order and peace. Anna noticed that everything was impeccably clean, but in a way that suggested professional care, not personal use. "Lucy, would you like to see your room?" Jack asked. "My room?" "Well, the room where you'll be staying. It has a bed just for you and a window that looks out onto the backyard." Lucy looked at Anna, asking for permission. Anna nodded. The room was perfect for a child. A twin bed with a light blue comforter, a small desk, empty shelves waiting for books and toys. The window really did look out onto a backyard, with a large tree that would be perfect for bird watching. "Can I put my drawings on the wall?" Lucy asked. "Of course, Aunt, this is your home now." Anna felt her eyes well up with tears again, but this time they weren't tears of despair. After Lucy settled in, Jack showed Anna her room, a simple but comfortable room with its own bathroom. Anna placed her bag in the corner and turned to Jack. "I don't know how to thank you." You don't have to. Yes, I do. You don't even know what happened, why we're here. It doesn't matter, Jack interrupted gently. Stay as long as you need. It's safe here. The simplicity of the sentence broke something inside Anna. How long had it been since she felt safe? How long had it been since she had someone who said it doesn't matter to her problems? For how long? For as long as you need, Jack repeated. Weeks, months. There's no rush. That first night, Anna could barely sleep. She lay in the comfortable bed, listening to the sounds of the house. The refrigerator humming quietly, Lucy breathing peacefully in the next room, Jack moving carefully around the house trying not to make noise. It was so different from the apartment, where she always slept with one ear open for strange noises, where the thin walls let every sound from the neighbors pass through. Here it was, quiet, safe. The next morning, Anna woke up to the smell of coffee and something baking. She went down to the kitchen and found Jack making pancakes while Lucy, still in her pajamas, was helping him measure ingredients. "Mommy, Jack is making pancakes. He said I can help." "I hope you don't mind," Jack said. "I woke up early and thought I'd make breakfast." "You didn't have to." "I wanted to." During breakfast, a natural conversation about their routine emerged. Jack had to leave for work but would be back for lunch. There was food in the fridge. Lucy could play in the garden. They should make themselves at home. "I can help with anything," Anna offered. "Cleaning, cooking? It's not required." "I know, but I want to help," Jack nodded. "If you want, but no pressure." After Jack left, Anna began to explore the house more carefully. It was too big for one person. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a living room that was clearly unused, a kitchen that could accommodate an entire family. But it was an organized loneliness. Everything in its place, nothing too personal. It was as if Jack lived like a guest in his own home. Anna started slowly. She reorganized some kitchen cabinets, folded clothes that were in the laundry basket, wiped surfaces that were already clean. Not because she had to, but because the activity helped her process the situation. Lucy explored the garden, found a forgotten doll in a corner of the room, began to transform the space into her own territory. When Jack returned for lunch, he found Anna in the kitchen making sandwiches and Lucy in the living room, drawing on the coffee table. "You look at home," he said, and there was something in his tone, surprise, perhaps relief. "I hope we're not intruding." "You're not. It's nice to have life in here." During lunch, Lucy told him about her exploration of the garden, about the doll she had found. Jack explained that the doll had belonged to a cousin who used to visit when he was a child. "Can she stay with me?" Lucy asked. "Of course." "I think she was waiting for you." After lunch, Jack went back to work. Anna continued to organize and creating little routines. She folded the towels in a different way, rearranged the spices alphabetically, put flowers from the garden in a vase on the living room table. Small changes, personal touches that didn't invade us but warmed. Lucy made a drawing of the house and put it on the refrigerator. She organized her books on the shelf in her room. She asked Anna to hang some of her drawings on the wall. When Jack arrived at the end of the afternoon, the house was different, not visibly different, but there was a new energy. The smell of dinner being prepared, the sound of Lucy humming in her room, small signs of family life. "How was your day?" Anna asked as he entered the kitchen. "Good. How was yours?" "Lucy found a family of squirrels in the garden. She spent the whole afternoon watching them." Jack smiled. "They live in the big tree. I always wondered if anyone else noticed them." During dinner, Lucy told stories about the squirrels as if they were characters from a book. Jack listened with genuine attention, asked questions, laughed at the girls' funny observations. Anna watched the interaction, noticing how Jack transformed in Lucy's presence. The tension in his shoulders relaxed. His smile became natural. His eyes lost that distant quality they had when he was alone. After dinner, Lucy asked to show Jack her new drawings. They sat on the living room floor, Lucy explaining every detail of the drawings, Jack asking questions that showed he was really paying attention. Anna watched them from the kitchen as she washed the dishes. There was something touching about the scene, the lonely adult man, the child who always had to grow up too fast, connecting through colored pencils and imagination. At bedtime, Lucy asked Jack to help choose a book. They went to her room and Anna heard his low voice reading a story about an adventurous rabbit. When Jack came downstairs, Anna was in the living room folding some clothes. She fell asleep quickly, he said. She feels safe here. Jack sat in the armchair, watching Anna organize little things. You don't have to. I know, but I want to do this. They sat in a comfortable silence, Anna finishing her small tasks, Jack simply watching. It wasn't an awkward silence, but the kind of pause that happens when people feel naturally at ease. The house feels different, Jack said finally. Different? How? More alive. It's been so long since I've heard someone humming, seen drawings on the fridge, smelled home-cooked food. Anna stopped folding clothes. How long have you lived alone? Always. Even as a child, the house was more formal. It must be lonely. It is. Jack looked around the room, noticing the small touches Anna had added during the day. Today, for the first time, it didn't feel like an empty house. Anna felt something move in her chest. It wasn't just gratitude, but recognition. They were filling each other's voids. She and Lucy needed security. He needed connection. Jack. Yes. Thank you for giving us a home. Jack looked at her, and for the first time since they met, there was no disguised sadness in his eyes. There was something warmer, more real. Thank you for giving me a family. For the first time in his adult life, Jack Spencer felt real human warmth in his own home. And for the first time in months, Anna felt she had a safe place for Lucy to grow up. In the quiet of the night, with Lucy sleeping peacefully upstairs and Anna finally feeling at peace, something new was beginning. Not just a temporary arrangement, but a real family forming, built not by blood or obligation, but by mutual need and genuine affection. 3 weeks had passed since Anna and Lucy moved into Jack's house, and a gentle routine was beginning to form naturally. It wasn't forced or planned, it just happened, like when 3 people who need each other find a common rhythm. It was a Sunday afternoon, and for the first time in a long time, none of the 3 were in a hurry to be anywhere. Lucy was on the living room floor, building an imaginary city with wooden blocks Jack had found in the attic. Anna was preparing a snack in the kitchen, and Jack was reading the newspaper in the armchair, but his eyes often strayed to watch Lucy work. Jack, Lucy said without looking up from the blocks, did you have dolls when you were little? Jack chuckled softly. Not dolls, but I had some toys, mostly cars. Did you play alone? The question, asked with the typical innocence of a child, made Jack pause. Most of the time, yes. Why? Where were your mommy and daddy? Anna appeared at the kitchen door, worried that Lucy was being too intrusive, but Jack didn't seem to mind. My daddy worked a lot, and my mommy... Jack folded the newspaper slowly. My mommy died when I was very little. Lucy finally looked up at, like mine. Similar. Do you remember yours? Not much. Mommy Anna told me some things. Anna felt her chest tighten. Lucy always referred to her as Mommy Anna, a way to distinguish her from the biological mother she barely knew. And what was your mommy like? Lucy asked, returning to the blocks, but still paying attention. Jack glanced at Anna briefly, as if asking for permission to continue. She nodded almost imperceptibly. Why, she was kind. She liked to bake sweets and take me to see the shop windows downtown. Like we did. Exactly like you did. Lucy smiled and continued playing. To her, the conversation was simple, a sharing of basic information. But Anna noticed the tension in Jack's shoulders, the way he held the newspaper a little too tightly. Later, when Lucy went upstairs to take a bath, Anna joined Jack in the living room. Sorry if she was too curious, Anna said, sitting on the sofa. She wasn't. It's refreshing, actually. Most people avoid the subject. It must be hard to talk about. Jack was silent for a moment, considering, you know what's harder? Not having many memories of her. I was so little. Sometimes I wonder if the few things I remember are real or if I made them up because I needed something. Anna understood perfectly. Lucy does the same thing. She makes up stories about her biological mother. I let her because I think she needs those stories. Your sister? No. Lucy isn't my biological daughter. Anna rarely told this story, but something in Jack's vulnerability made her continue. She was my best friend's daughter. When Sarah died, there was no one else. Jack looked at her with new understanding. You adopted her. Informally, Sarah asked me to take care of her if anything happened. I never imagined it would be necessary. How old was Lucy? 2 years old. She could barely talk. Jack watched Anna for a long moment. And you gave up your life to raise her. I didn't give it up. I gained a daughter. The simplicity of the answer touched Jack deeply. He knew many people who talked about sacrifice as if it were a badge of honor. Anna simply loved Lucy, without drama or self-pity. And your father? Anna asked gently, shifting the focus back to him. Jack made an expression that was hard to decipher. My father is alive, very much alive, very successful, very absent. You don't talk. We talk when necessary. Business meetings, mostly. He sees me as an extension of the family company. That must hurt. Jack had never thought of it in those terms. Pain was too emotional for how he was raised to see his relationship with his father. It's more empty. After my mother died, he buried himself in work. I was raised by nannies, then boarding schools. When we met, it was to discuss my academic performance or career plans. Anna felt a pang in her heart. You never had a normal father-son conversation? I wouldn't know what one would be like. Just then, Lucy came down the stairs in her pajamas, her wet hair forming curls around her face. Can I watch a little bit of television? You can, Anna said. Shall I put something calm before bed? Lucy settled on the rug in front of the TV, finding a show about animals. Jack and Anna continued talking in low voices. It must have been lonely, Anna said. It was normal for me. I didn't know any other way to live. Jack looked at Lucy, absorbed in the show, until now. What changed? You too. Seeing how Lucy runs to you when she gets hurt, how you laugh together, how she looks for you just to tell you some silly thing she discovered. Jack paused. I never had that. Anna followed his gaze to Lucy. She likes you a lot. It's mutual. I've noticed. They watched Lucy for a few minutes. She was fascinated by a documentary about dolphins, commenting softly on how smart they were. Anna, Jack said suddenly, can I ask you something? Of course. How did you know it would work out, raising Lucy alone, I mean? Anna thought carefully about the answer. I didn't know. Most of the time, I still don't. I just do what feels right at the moment. And what if you're wrong? I am wrong a lot, but Lucy is resilient, and I try to learn. Jack was amazed by her honesty. In his world, people pretended to have all the answers. Mommy Anna, Lucy called from the front of the TV, did you know that dolphins have names? I didn't know that. What do you mean? Each dolphin has a special sound that's just its own, like it's its name. How interesting. Lucy turned on the rug to face them. I miss school. The comment dropped like a stone in the middle of the conversation. Anna felt her stomach clench, the guilt she carried daily for not being able to keep Lucy in school. I know, sweetie, Anna said softly. Especially math. It was my favorite subject. Jack straightened up in the armchair, suddenly interested. Math, really? Uh-huh. I liked counting and doing little problems. The teacher said I was good with numbers. Jack's eyes lit up in a way Anna had never seen before. That's why I became an engineer. I've always loved numbers. Lucy turned her whole body to face him. You like math? I love it. I use math every day in my job. To build buildings? Exactly. I need to calculate how much weight each beam can hold, what the best angle for stairs is, how many materials we'll need. Lucy was fascinated. That must be fun. It is. Want me to show you some tricks with numbers? Lucy practically jumped with excitement. Can I? Jack looked at Anna, asking for permission. She nodded, curious to see where this would lead. Jack got up and went to the kitchen, returning with a handful of bottle caps Anna had set aside for recycling and some pencils. Let's play some game, he said, sitting on the floor next to Lucy. Anna watched them from the kitchen doorway, pretending to organize things, but actually completely absorbed in the scene. First, Jack said, let's see if you can make equal groups. He spread 15 bottle caps on the floor. Can you divide these caps into groups that have the same number? Lucy began to separate the caps, her brow furrowed in concentration. I can make 3 groups of 5. Perfect. And how many other ways can you divide them? Lucy tried again. 5 groups of 3. Excellent. You understand division? Lucy beamed with pride. Tice, that's what I did in school. Jack continued to create little problems with the bottle caps. Simple addition, subtraction, patterns. Every correct answer from Lucy was genuinely celebrated, every difficulty patiently explained. Anna watched them for almost an hour. Something magical was happening, not just Lucy learning, but Jack transforming. The tension he always carried in his shoulders disappeared when he was teaching. His eyes sparkled, his voice became more animated, his gestures more expressive, and Lucy was radiant. It had been weeks since Anna had seen her so engaged, so clearly happy. Now I'm going to teach you something special, Jack said, picking up a pencil. It's called the Fibonacci sequence. Fibonacci. Lucy tried to repeat. That's right. It's when each number is the sum of the 2 before it. Jack wrote on the paper, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. See, 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5. Lucy studied the numbers. 3 plus 5 is 8. Exactly. Want to continue the sequence? Lucy took the pencil seriously and wrote slowly, 13. 5 plus 8, she murmured, calculating. Perfect. Anna felt her eyes fill with tears, not of sadness, but of a complex emotion, gratitude, relief, something that could be called happiness. Jack wasn't just playing with Lucy. He was truly teaching, respecting her intelligence, challenging her appropriately, and Lucy was responding like a plant finally receiving sunlight. Mommy Anna, come see, Lucy called. Jack taught me special numbers. Anna came closer, sitting on the floor beside them. Show your mom, Jack encouraged. Lucy explained the Fibonacci sequence with the seriousness of a teacher, using the bottle caps to demonstrate. Anna asked all the right questions, expressed genuine admiration, celebrated every correct answer. But as Lucy spoke, Anna watched Jack. There was a softness in him she had never seen before. The way he looked at Lucy, with real attention, respect for her mind, genuine pleasure in her company. And Lucy looked at Jack with something Anna recognized as affection, not the polite affection that children sometimes force with adults, but a real connection. Can I learn more tomorrow? Lucy asked as they started to put the bottle caps away. If you want, Jack said. I have lots of math tricks. And what if I get too smart? Jack laughed. Then you can teach me a few things. Lucy considered this seriously. Okay. When Lucy went upstairs to brush her teeth, Anna and Jack were left alone in the living room, quietly putting away the bottle caps. Thank you, Anna said finally. For what? For seeing her, really seeing her. Most people treat children as if they're less intelligent. She's brilliant. It would be a crime to waste that mind. Anna stopped putting away the caps. You're going to be a wonderful father one day." Jack was quiet for a moment, processing the comment. "I've never really thought about it. Maybe you should." Jack looked towards the stairs where Lucy had gone up, then back at Anna. "She makes it seem natural. That's because you genuinely care." Jack nodded slowly. "Anna." "Yes. Thank you for letting me be a part of this." Anna smiled. "Thank you for wanting to be a part of it." That night, after Lucy was asleep and Anna had retired to her room, Jack stayed in the living room thinking. For the first time in his adult life, he felt like he belonged to something. Not out of obligation or convenience, but by mutual choice and genuine affection. Upstairs, Anna was also awake, processing what she had observed. The connection between Jack and Lucy wasn't forced or artificial. It was organic, based on mutual respect and genuine interest. And for the first time since Sarah died, Anna felt that Lucy had more than just her. She had a real family forming, small, unconventional, but real. The beginning of something good. Indeed. Anna woke up that Thursday with a determination she hadn't felt in weeks. It had been a month since they started living in Jack's house, and the feeling of receiving without giving anything in return weighed on her chest every day. Jack never asked for anything. He never made comments about expenses or implied that they were a burden. On the contrary, he seemed genuinely happy with their company. But Anna had her pride, and pride meant finding ways to repay his kindness. She had observed Jack over the previous weeks. She noticed how he ate, always quickly, as if it were just fuel. She noticed that he seemed surprised when she prepared something other than sandwiches. She noticed most of all that he had never tasted food made with real care. "Today I'm making a special dinner," she announced to Lucy during breakfast. "Why?" "To thank Jack. He's been very good to us." Lucy nodded seriously. "Can I help?" "Of course you can." After Jack left for work, Anna and Lucy went to the grocery store. Anna had saved a few dollars from the money Jack insisted on leaving for house expenses, and today she was going to use it all. She didn't buy anything extravagant: chicken, potatoes, some fresh vegetables, aromatic herbs. Simple, but quality ingredients. Anna always believed that good ingredients were half the battle for a good meal. "What are we making?" Lucy asked, watching Anna organize everything in the kitchen. Roasted chicken with herbs, golden potatoes and grilled vegetables. Nothing too complicated, but made with care. Lucy settled into a high chair, designated as the official assistant. Anna began slowly, explaining each step to the girl. "First, we'll season the chicken. Smell is very important in the kitchen." Anna crushed fresh garlic, mixed it with salt, freshly ground black pepper, rosemary, and a little olive oil. The aroma immediately filled the kitchen. "It smells like Grandma's house," Lucy commented, although she had never met either of her grandmothers. "It's the smell of food made with love," Anna explained, massaging the seasoning into the chicken skin. While the chicken roasted, Anna prepared the potatoes. She cut them into uniform pieces, seasoned them with coarse salt and fresh herbs, and let them brown in the oven with the chicken. "Why are you such a good cook?" Lucy asked, watching Anna chop the vegetables with precise movements. "I learned out of necessity. When I started working in restaurants, I watched the cooks. I paid attention to everything: how they cut, how they seasoned, how they combined flavors." "You worked in a restaurant?" "In several, mostly as a waitress. But I always stayed in the kitchen when I could, learning." Anna was grilling the vegetables when a memory took her back. She remembered her first jobs, when she barely knew how to fry an egg. She remembered how she watched the chefs with admiration, how she memorized techniques, how she practiced at home with cheap ingredients. "I never thought I'd use this like this," she murmured to herself. "What?" "Nothing, sweetie. Just thinking." The aroma coming from the oven was extraordinary, rich, welcoming, homemade. Lucy kept walking around the kitchen, inhaling deeply. "Will Jack like it?" "I hope so." In truth, Anna was nervous. Cooking for Jack felt more important than it should. She wanted to impress him, but she didn't know why. Maybe it was gratitude, maybe it was pride, or maybe it was something more complicated she didn't want to analyze. Jack arrived at his usual time, 6:30. Anna heard the key in the door and felt her stomach do a flip. "Wow," he said as soon as he walked in. "What an incredible smell." Lucy ran to greet him. "My mommy Anna made a special dinner for you." Jack looked at Anna, who was taking the chicken out of the oven. "You didn't have to." "I wanted to," Anna interrupted. "It's my way of saying thank you." Jack approached the kitchen, observing the carefully set table, the plates Anna had found in the cupboard and polished until they shone, the simple candles that created a cozy atmosphere. "It looks like a restaurant," he said, genuinely impressed. "Better," Lucy announced. Because it was made with love," Anna smiled, feeling her cheeks warm. "Let's sit down before it gets cold." The first moment was silent as Jack tasted the food. Anna watched him anxiously, trying to read his expression. Jack chewed slowly, his eyes closing for a moment. When he opened them, there was something different in them. "Anna," he said softly, "this is extraordinary. It's just roasted chicken. It's not just roasted chicken." Jack took another bite, savoring it. "You cook like someone writing poetry." The comparison caught Anna off guard. No one had ever described her food that way. "I don't know about poetry." "I do. I've eaten at very expensive restaurants that don't even come close to this. There's something in the way you combine the flavors, how you balance everything." Jack looked directly at her. "This is real talent." Anna picked at her food, uncomfortable with the compliment. "I've been a waitress, a cleaner. I never had a resume. I just wanted a chance to show what I can do." The simplicity of the answer touched Jack deeply. He knew many people who had expensive culinary degrees, who talked about sophisticated techniques, but who could never create something with this kind of soul. "Anna, look at me." She reluctantly looked up. "You have talent, real talent. It's not about a resume or certificates. It's about this." He gestured to the plate. "This is art." Lucy watched the conversation, chewing her golden potatoes. "Mommy Anna cooks the best things in the world." "I completely agree," Jack said. Anna felt her eyes well up with tears. It had been so long since she felt valued for what she could do, instead of being judged for what she didn't have on paper. "Thank you," she murmured. Jack was silent for a moment, as if making a decision. "Anna, I know someone with a restaurant, Marco Valdez. He has a small place downtown, Italian food, very respected. He needs someone like you." Anna stopped eating. "What do you mean?" "He's been looking for a sous chef for months. Someone who understands flavors, who has instinct in the kitchen. A resume doesn't matter to him, he cares about talent." "Jack, I can't." "Why not?" Anna looked at Lucy, then back at Jack. "What if I'm not good enough? What if it's just a one-night fluke?" "It wasn't a fluke. I've eaten your food for weeks. Every simple meal you've prepared had this same quality. You didn't realize it, but you've been auditioning every day." The idea was both terrifying and exciting. Anna had always dreamed of working in a real kitchen, not just serving tables or cleaning. Would he see me? If I ask, yes, Marco trusts my judgment. And Lucy, I can't leave her alone. The hours are flexible, mostly lunches and early evening shifts. You'd be home when Lucy needs you. Anna looked at her daughter, who was watching her with expectation. What do you think, sweetie? I think you should cook for more people. Your food is too good to stay just here. Lucy's simple wisdom made Anna smile. I'll think about it, she told Jack. That's all I can ask. They continued eating in a comfortable silence. Anna processed the possibility, trying to imagine herself in a professional kitchen again, but this time not as the waitress watching from afar, this time as the person creating the dishes. Jack, she said as they were finishing. Yes, Why are you doing this for me? Jack considered the question carefully. Because talent deserves an opportunity. So, Jack said, cutting through the emotional tension of the moment, can I call Marco tomorrow? Anna took a deep breath, mustering her courage. You can. Lucy clapped her hands. Mommy Anna is going to be a real chef. She already is a real chef, Jack corrected. She's just going to have the kitchen she deserves. That night, as Anna washed the dishes and Jack dried, she allowed herself to dream. She imagined herself creating new dishes, experimenting with flavor combinations, finally using all the knowledge she had absorbed over the years. For the first time in a long time, the future seemed full of possibilities. Jack arrived at the office the next morning with a determination that surprised even himself. He usually needed at least 2 cups of coffee before making any important calls. But today, he picked up the phone as soon as he sat down at his desk. Marco Valdez. The voice on the other end sounded tired. Marco, it's Jack Spencer. Jack, what a surprise. How are you, man? Good. Listen, remember you were looking for a sous chef? Still am. Why, you know someone. Jack looked out his office window, thinking of Anna in the kitchen the night before, the way she seasoned the food, the care with which she prepared each dish. I do, but I need to be honest about one thing. Go on. She doesn't have a degree. But she has truth and talent. Marco was silent for a moment. Jack knew that pause well. It was Marco processing information, weighing pros and cons. What kind of experience? She's worked in restaurants for years, mostly as a waitress, but always watching, learning. I've tasted her food, Marco. It's exceptional. Jack, you know I don't know anything about cooking. I know, but I know about quality. And this woman has something special. Marco sighed. You wouldn't recommend someone unless you were sure. Never. Okay, send her over this afternoon, 3 o'clock. I'll give her a chance. Thanks, Marco. Don't thank me yet. If she's not what you say she is, you owe me dinner at Le Bernardin. Jack laughed. Deal. When Jack came home for lunch, he found Anna in the kitchen making sandwiches for Lucy. There was something different about her, a nervous energy that wasn't there in the morning. Anna, she turned, and Jack saw the anxiety in her blue eyes. Why did you change your mind about Marco? No, on the contrary. Jack sat at the kitchen table. I called him this morning. You have an interview today at 3. Anna dropped the knife she was using to slice tomatoes. Today? But I'm not ready. You've been ready for years, you just didn't know it. Lucy appeared in the kitchen, drawn by the conversation. Is Mommy Anna going to work in a real restaurant? If all goes well, Jack said. Anna sat heavily in a chair. What if I don't know how to answer the questions? What if he asks me to do something I don't know how to do? Then you be honest. Tell him what you know, admit what you don't, and show that you want to learn. That's what I do when I don't know something in school, Lucy offered. It always works. Anna smiled for the first time since Jack arrived. Your daughter is wise. Our daughter, Jack corrected automatically, then stopped, surprised by his own words. Anna looked at him, something passing between them that neither was ready to name. I'm going to get changed, Anna said, standing up. Anna? Yes. Just be yourself. That's all you need to do. The restaurant, Sapori d'Italia, was on a narrow street downtown away from the bustling avenues. Anna stopped in front of the glass door, looking at the interior through the window. It was smaller than she imagined, with about 15 tables, simple but elegant decor, and an open kitchen where she could see people working. She took a deep breath and went inside. Can I help you? A young waitress asked. I have an interview with Marco Valdez at 3. Oh, you must be Anna. He's waiting for you. Marco Valdez was not what Anna expected. Short, stocky, with graying hair and hands that showed years of hard work. He wore a stained apron and had a serious expression that gave no clues as to what he was thinking. Anna, Yes, sir. Marco. Let's talk in the kitchen. The kitchen was small but efficient. 2 people were working on lunch prep, moving with the coordination of those who had been doing this for a long time. The smell was incredible. Garlic, fresh herbs, tomatoes being sautéed. Jack told me you have experience. I do, but I need to be honest about one thing. Marco raised an eyebrow. I don't have formal training. I've never taken a cooking class, never officially worked as a cook, but I know how to work. I cook with what I have, and I always do my best. Marco studied her for a long moment. What kind of experience do you have? 5 years as a waitress in various restaurants. Whenever I could, I'd be in the kitchen watching. I learned techniques, memorized recipes, practiced at home. And why do you want to work here? Anna thought carefully before answering. Because I want to cook for real. I've always known I had talent, but I never had the opportunity to prove it. Show me. How? Make something. You have half an hour. Anna looked around the kitchen, identifying available ingredients. There was no time to plan anything elaborate, so she decided to make something simple but perfect. Can I make a pasta with fresh tomato sauce? You can. Anna got to work. She put water on to boil, chose ripe tomatoes, grabbed fresh garlic and basil. Her movements were economical, precise. There was no wasted time or ingredients. Marco watched her discreetly while pretending to check on other dishes. He noticed how she constantly tasted, adjusting seasonings, how she kept her workspace clean, how she respected the rhythm of the kitchen, not getting in the other cook's way. The sauce was ready in 20 minutes. Anna cooked the pasta al dente, mixed everything carefully, and finished it with fresh basil and a drizzle of olive oil. Done, she said, handing the plate to Marco. Marco took a fork and tasted it. He chewed slowly, expressionless. He tasted it again. Luigi, he called to one of the cooks. Come taste this. Luigi, an older man with a strong Italian accent, came over and tasted the dish. His eyes widened. Madonna, who made this? She did, Marco pointed to Anna. Luigi tasted it again, then looked at Anna with new respect. Where did you study? I didn't. I learned by watching. Luigi exchanged a look with Marco. Hire her. Marco finished eating, wiped his mouth with a napkin. Anna, the job is from Tuesday to Saturday. Lunch and the early evening shift. You leave at 8. Starting salary is 15 an hour, with the possibility of a raise after 3 months. Anna could hardly believe what she was hearing. You're offering me the job? I am. Luigi here has been my head chef for 15 years. If he says to hire you, you're hired. But you haven't even seen my resume. I don't need to. I've tasted your work. That's what matters here. Anna felt her eyes fill with tears. For the first time in her adult life, someone was hiring her for what she could do, not for what she could prove on paper. Do you accept? Marco asked. I accept. Great. You start on Tuesday. Be here at 10 for Luigi to show you the ropes. Anna left the restaurant in a state of shock. She walked down the street without really seeing where she was going, processing what had just happened. She had a job, a real job, doing what she loved. When she got home, Lucy and Jack were in the living room, obviously waiting for news. So? Jack asked as soon as she walked in. Anna tried to keep a straight face, but she couldn't. A smile took over her face. I got it, Lucy shouted with joy and ran to hug her. Jack stood up, smiling. I knew you would. He didn't even want to see a resume. He just asked me to cook, and you nailed it. I think so. Anna picked Lucy up. Mommy's going to work in a real kitchen. You've always worked in a real kitchen, Lucy said, but now other people will get to eat your food too. That night, as they prepared dinner together, Anna couldn't stop smiling. For the first time in as long as she could remember, she felt she had worth. Not out of pity, not out of charity, but on her own merit. Jack watched her discreetly, noticing the difference in her posture, in the way she moved around the kitchen. There was a new confidence there, a sense of purpose that didn't exist before. "So I thank you," she said as they were cleaning up the dishes. "For what?" "For believing in me before I believed in myself. I just showed the obvious to other people." Anna smiled. "Still, thank you." For the first time in her life, Anna felt she was exactly where she was supposed to be. It wasn't just about the job. It was about being seen, being valued, being recognized for who she really was, a chef, a mother, a person with her own worth. And that made all the difference. 2 weeks had passed since Anna started working at Sapori d'Italia, and the transformation in her was visible. She would come home with her uniform stained with tomato sauce and flour, but with a sparkle in her eyes that Jack hadn't seen since they met. It was a Saturday afternoon, and Anna was at the restaurant for the lunch shift. Jack and Lucy had the house to themselves, something that had become common on weekends. They were in the backyard, Jack reading the newspaper while Lucy drew on the ground with colored chalk. "Jack," Lucy said without looking up from her drawing. "Yes. Can I ask you something?" "Of course." Lucy stopped drawing and looked at him with that seriousness that sometimes took over her face, making her look much older than 5. "Are you going to be my friend forever?" The question caught Jack off guard. He folded the newspaper slowly, giving her his full attention. "Why do you ask?" "Because sometimes people go away, and I don't want you to go away." Jack felt something tighten in his chest. Lucy spoke with the simplicity of a child, but there was a vulnerability there that came from real experience with loss. "Lucy, look at me." She turned completely, setting the chalk aside. Jack smiled with a tenderness that surprised even himself. "If you want me to..." "Forever, even if we don't live here anymore, even then, even if I grow up and become an adult, especially then." Lucy smiled, a radiant smile that lit up her whole face. "Then you're my real family, and you're mine." Lucy went back to her drawing, seemingly satisfied with the answer. Jack watched her work, processing the conversation. When did this little girl become so important to him? Anna came home at 4 in the afternoon, as always on Saturdays. Jack heard her come in the front door, but she didn't appear in the kitchen immediately as usual. "Mommy Anna!" Lucy shouted, running to greet her. Jack found them in the living room. Anna was still in her uniform. Black pants, a stained white shirt, her blonde hair pulled back in a messy bun. But there was something different about her, an energy, a vitality that wasn't there before. "How was your day?" Jack asked. Anna sat on the sofa, pulling Lucy onto her lap. "Incredible. Luigi let me prepare the fresh pasta by myself today, and 3 customers sent compliments to the kitchen." "Compliments?" An elderly couple said my lasagna reminded them of their Italian grandmother. Another customer asked who had made the marinara sauce because it was perfect. Jack smiled at her excitement. "And how did you feel?" Anna was quiet for a moment, gathering her thoughts. "It's been a long time since I felt like I was part of something. Thank you for seeing me." The gratitude in her voice touched Jack deeply. "You were always visible, Anna. You just needed the right place to shine." That night, after Lucy went to sleep, Anna and Jack stayed in the living room talking about her work, about the new dishes she was learning. "Jack," Anna said suddenly, "I need to tell you something." "Go ahead." "I'm looking for a place to rent." Jack felt as if he had been punched in the gut. "Why?" "Because now I have an income. I can support Lucy on my own again." "But you're fine here. There's space. Lucy is happy." "And that's why I need to leave," Anna interrupted gently. "Because we're too comfortable. Lucy is getting used to this, and so am I. It's not fair to you." Jack was silent, processing. Logically, he understood Anna's reasoning. She wanted independence, but emotionally, the idea of the house being empty again was unbearable. "Have you found a place?" "There's a small studio a few blocks from here. 1 room, a kitchenette, a bathroom. It's perfect for the 2 of us. And Lucy, what does she think?" "I haven't told her yet. I wanted to talk to you first." Jack nodded slowly. When? The landlord said I can move in at the end of the week. 1 week. Jack tried to imagine the house in 1 week, without Lucy running down the stairs in the morning, without Anna humming in the kitchen. Can I help with the move? Anna smiled sadly. I'd like that. The next few days passed in a strange mix of normalcy and melancholy. Lucy reacted to the news of the move better than Anna expected. Are we going to have our own little house? We are. A tiny one, but ours. And can Jack visit? Anna looked at Jack. If he wants to. Whenever you want, Jack said quickly. Lucy seemed satisfied with the arrangements. To her, at 5 years old, changes were adventures, not losses. Moving day arrived on a sunny Saturday. Anna didn't have many things. Some clothes, books, Lucy's toys and drawings. Everything fit in Jack's car in 2 trips. The studio was on the 2nd floor of an old but well-maintained building. It was small, as Anna had said, but clean and well lit. It's perfect, Anna said, looking around. Jack helped arrange the furniture, while Lucy explored every corner of the new space. He worked slowly, unconsciously postponing the moment he had to leave. When everything was set up, the 3 of them stood in the middle of the room, none of them knowing quite how to say goodbye. Jack, Lucy said suddenly, wait here. She ran to one of the boxes and came back with a folded piece of paper. I made this for you. Jack carefully unfolded the paper. It was a drawing of him, Anna, and Lucy holding hands in front of a house. Above the figures, in a child's whimsical handwriting, it said, "You are my friend forever." Jack stared at the drawing for a long time, feeling his eyes well up with tears. "This is the most beautiful gift I've ever received," he said, his voice thick with emotion. Lucy ran and hugged him tightly. "Don't forget us." "Never." Anna approached hesitantly. For a moment, Jack thought she was going to extend her hand for a formal handshake. Instead, she hugged him, a long hug, full of gratitude and restrained emotion. "Thank you," she murmured, "for everything." Jack returned the hug, trying to memorize the moment. "We'll see each other soon," she said when they separated. "We will." Jack waved one last time to Lucy, who was at the window, and went down the stairs. In the car, he sat for a few minutes, looking at the building where Anna and Lucy would start their new life. The drive home had never seemed so long. When Jack entered his house, the silence hit him like a physical wall. It wasn't just the absence of noise, it was the absence of life, of energy, of purpose. He went to the kitchen. The table was empty, without Lucy's drawings scattered about. He went to the living room. The sofa cushions were perfectly arranged, without the small indentation where Lucy used to sit. He went upstairs. Lucy's room was empty, the bed made, the shelves bare. The whole house seemed larger, but in an oppressive way. Jack sat in the living room armchair, Lucy's drawing still in his hands. He looked around the house that had been his solitary refuge for years. Before Anna and Lucy arrived, the silence was comfortable. It was order, it was control. Now the silence had a shape. It had weight. It was the living absence of 2 people who had turned a house into a home. Jack realized he was crying, not from sharp sadness, but from a deep melancholy. It wasn't just that he missed them. It was that now he knew what he had been missing all those years alone. He knew what it was to wake up to the sound of little footsteps upstairs. He knew what it was to come home and find someone waiting. He knew what it was to feel needed, not for his money or status, but simply for existing. He knew what family was, and now he also knew what it was to lose it. The phone rang, breaking the silence. Jack looked at the screen. "Anna." "Hello?" "Jack, it's me. I just wanted..." "Lucy wanted to wish you good night." "Of course." Lucy's excited voice came through the phone. "Good night, Jack. Mommy Anna made pasta in our little kitchen." "That's great, Lucy. Sleep well." "I will. You too." Anna came back on the line. "Jack, I'm here. Thank you for everything." "Really? Thank you." After he hung up, Jack held the phone. looking around the silent house. Tomorrow would be Sunday. Normally on Sundays, they made pancakes together. Lucy would help measure ingredients. Anna would laugh at the kitchen mishaps. Tomorrow he would wake up alone. Jack looked at Lucy's drawing again. "You are my friend forever," the sentence read in a child's crooked letters. Forever, even from a distance, even in separate houses, even with the silence weighing down the empty house. For the first time in his adult life, Jack Spencer completely understood what he had gained and lost. He gained a family. He lost the loneliness that he didn't know was painful until he knew the alternative, and now he would have to learn to live with the living absence, knowing exactly what was missing. But at least he knew he wasn't really alone. He had a drawing as a gift, a goodnight phone call, and the promise of a 5-year-old girl. Maybe it was enough. It was Sunday morning, and Jack was sitting at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee slowly growing cold in his hands. 3 weeks had passed since Anna and Lucy moved to the studio, and Sundays had become the hardest days. During the week, work kept his mind busy. Meetings, projects, the familiar routine of the office filled the hours. But on Sundays, when there were no emergencies or appointments, the silence of the house became deafening. Jack looked around the kitchen. Everything was exactly as it had always been before Anna and Lucy arrived. Clean, organized, empty. The refrigerator had no drawings attached with colorful magnets. The table had no cookie crumbs or forgotten colored pencils. There were no excited voices arguing whether chocolate pancakes were better than strawberry pancakes. He had tried to maintain some of the routines they had developed together. He made pancakes the previous Sunday, but eating alone tasted different. He tried watching the cartoons Lucy liked, but without her enthusiastic commentary and endless questions, the shows seemed dull. Jack picked up the phone a few times, thinking about calling them, but he always hesitated. Anna had been clear about wanting independence, about proving she could take care of Lucy on her own. He didn't want to seem intrusive or needy. He got up and went to the living room, where Lucy's drawing was framed on the coffee table. "You are my friend forever," read the sentence in childish letters. Jack smiled sadly, tracing the lines with his finger. He sat in the armchair and picked up the Sunday paper, trying to concentrate on the news. But the words blurred on the page, and he found himself wondering what Anna and Lucy were doing at that moment. Maybe having breakfast at the small table in their studio. Maybe Lucy was drawing while Anna read a book. The silence was broken by the familiar sound of a known car's engine stopping in front of the house. Jack frowned. He wasn't expecting anyone. He went to the front window and felt his heart race. It was Anna getting out of a taxi, with Lucy by her side. Jack ran to the door, getting there at almost the same moment the doorbell rang. He opened it before the second ring. Lucy was standing on the doorstep, wearing a light blue dress he didn't recognize, and holding a piece of paper in her small hands. Her blonde curls shone in the morning sun, and there was a mischievous smile on her face. "So we came to see you," she shouted, dropping the paper and running to hug his legs. Jack knelt down to her level, returning the hug with an intensity that surprised him. Lucy, what a great surprise. Over the girl's head, Jack looked at Anna. She was standing a few steps back, her hands in her jacket pockets, a soft smile on her face. "She wanted to see you." "And," Anna paused, as if organizing her words, "and I did too." The simple admission made something unravel in Jack's chest. "Come in, please. I was just missing you." Lucy let go of Jack and ran inside the house, as if she had never left. "Wow, it smells good. Did you make coffee?" "I did." "Would you like to have breakfast with me?" "Yes," Lucy answered immediately. "We don't want to bother you," Anna began. "You never bother me." Anna smiled, and Jack noticed she looked different. There was a lightness about her that hadn't been there in the last weeks they lived together, as if a weight had been lifted from her shoulders. "Then I accept," she said. In the kitchen, Jack prepared fresh coffee while Lucy settled into her favorite chair, chattering excitedly about life in the new studio. Mommy Anna let me help organize the cupboards, and there's a giant window in our room where you can see the tree on the street. That's great. And how is it living with just the two of you? It's fun. It's like having a real dollhouse. Everything is tiny and cozy. Jack served coffee for Anna and orange juice for Lucy, sitting down at the table with them. For a moment, it was as if they had never been apart. The conversation flowed naturally. Lucy chattered about everything and nothing. Anna laughed at her daughter's comments. "And work?" Jack asked Anna. "How's it going?" "Very well. Luigi promoted me to assistant cook last week. A pay raise and everything. Congratulations, you deserve it." "She makes the most delicious pasta in the world," Lucy added. "Everyone at the restaurant likes her." Anna blushed slightly. "Lucy exaggerates." "I do not," Lucy protested. "It's true." After breakfast, Lucy asked to see her old room. She ran up the stairs, leaving Jack and Anna alone in the kitchen. "She seems happy," Jack observed, watching Anna put the cups away. She adapted very well to the change. Sometimes I think she adapts better than I do." "And you? How are you feeling?" Anna dried her hands on a dish towel, thinking about the answer. "Good. It's strange, but good. I'm proud that I can support her on my own again." "You should be." "But..." Anna hesitated. "But I miss it here. I miss you two together. I miss this." She gestured vaguely at the kitchen, at the domestic normality they were sharing. Jack felt his chest warm. "I miss it too, a lot." Lucy came running down the stairs, interrupting the moment. "Jack!" "My room is still the same. You didn't move anything." "I left everything just as you had arranged it." "Why?" Jack looked at Anna, then back at Lucy. "Because I always wanted you to know you could come back whenever you wanted." "Really? Really? How about we sit on the porch?" Anna suggested. "The day is beautiful." They settled on the front porch, Jack in the rocking chair, Anna in the chair next to him, Lucy sitting on the floor playing with leaves that had fallen from the tree. The conversation flowed naturally, about Anna's work, about Jack's projects, about Lucy's daily discoveries. They talked about everything and nothing, just as they did when they lived together. "Lucy is thinking about going back to school," Anna mentioned at one point. "Really?" Jack's spirits lifted. "That's great. The public school in our new neighborhood has a very good program. And now that I have a stable income, she'll love going back to her studies. Especially math," Anna smiled. "She won't stop talking about the games you taught her." Jack looked at Lucy, who was arranging leaves by size on the floor. "I can keep helping if she wants. With homework, or just to have fun with numbers. She would love that." They sat in a comfortable silence for a few minutes, watching Lucy play, enjoying the gentle afternoon breeze. "Jack," Anna said suddenly, "can I ask you something?" "Of course. I don't know what we are." The honesty of the statement caught Jack off guard. He looked at her, at Lucy, trying to find words for something that had no name. "Then let's just keep being this, someone who stays." Anna smiled, and there was a sense of relief in her expression. "Someone who stays. I like that. It doesn't need a name, it doesn't need a definition, it's just us." "Us," Anna repeated, as if testing the word. Lucy looked up at them, as if she had overheard the conversation. "I remember I made a new drawing for you, Jack." She ran to where she had left the paper she brought, returning with it in her hands. "I made it last night," she said, holding the paper out to Jack. Jack opened it carefully. It was a simple but touching drawing. 3 hearts of different sizes, one large, one medium, one small, connected by curved lines. Above the hearts, in neat handwriting, it said, "Family is who takes care of you." Jack stared at the drawing for a long time, feeling his eyes well up with tears. "Lucy," he said, his voice thick with emotion, "this is the most beautiful drawing you've ever made. Did you like it?" "I love it," I'm going to frame it and put it next to the other one." Lucy smiled radiantly. "I knew you would like it." Anna came closer to see the drawing, and Jack saw that she was also moved. "Family is who takes care of you," she read aloud. "Where did you learn that?" "I didn't learn it. I just know," Lucy replied with the simplicity of children. Jack looked at Anna over Lucy's head. They weren't his family in the traditional sense of the word. They weren't connected by blood or legal documents. But Lucy was right. Family was who took care of you, and they took care of each other. "Lucy," Anna said gently, "I think it's time for us to go. Already, but we just got here." "We've been here for 3 hours," Anna laughed. "No problem," Jack said quickly. "You can stay as long as you want." "I know, but we have to go home." Lucy pouted but didn't protest. "Can I come again next week?" Jack looked at Anna, who nodded. "Whenever you want," he said. When it was time to say goodbye, Lucy hugged Jack tightly. "Don't forget you're my friend forever," she whispered. "I'll never forget." Anna hugged Jack too, a longer hug than the last, without rush or awkwardness. "Thank you," she murmured. "For what?" "For continuing to be our family, even from afar." Jack watched them get into the taxi, waving until they disappeared around the corner. Then he stood on the porch for a long time, holding Lucy's new drawing. When he went inside, the silence was still there. But it was different now. It was no longer empty or oppressive. It was a pause between visits, a quiet expectation. Jack framed the new drawing and placed it next to the other one on the coffee table. 2 drawings, 2 declarations of love from a 5-year-old who understood before any adult what really mattered. "Family is who takes care of you." Jack smiled, looking around the house. It was still quiet, but it was no longer empty. It was full of memories, of promises, of the certainty that on Monday Anna would call to talk about work, that Lucy would send silly messages, that next Sunday they might knock on the door again. Family wasn't about living in the same house. It was about choosing to stay even when there was no obligation to do so. It was about being someone who takes care of you. And Jack Spencer finally understood that he had that. He had a family that chose him as much as he chose them, and that was more than enough. It was everything.